Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody.
How's everybody?
I think we started every single podcast like that.
Yeah, we have. Well, let's do a formal greeting then. Hey, welcome to GamePunx.
Yeah, welcome to
GamePunx. Episode 21. Yeah, Pain
21.
Gunks.
Yep. Pain Gunks.
GamePunx.
GamePunx. Gross. No.
When I learned we were going to be recording today, I came punks.
Get your crusty splooge away.
All right.
From my
from your
podcast mic.
No.
That's where I put my mouth.
Ah.
No.
I hope you're not putting your mouth up to that mic. You ain't know where it's been.
You don't know where. I do know where it's been, actually.
Which is even worse then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before it was in the box, I do not know where it was actually. So, I mean, technically. But I don't want to think about that too hard because I'll throw everything away.
All right. So, we've been off for a little bit because life stuff gets in the way and everybody had to deal with that. But it has mostly been dealt with, which is good. Mostly. In everybody's case, mostly. So, we're going to just get this shit started up again. And in the interim, I did play a lot of video games. How about you, Ben?
I did play a lot of video games. I think I played a lot of one video game.
I mean, a lot of one video game is obviously for us still quite a bit.
Yeah, because we're poor.
We are poor. We spend a lot of time talk about game.
Yeah,
it's just
includes reading up on games, which is just times you don't get to play games that.
Yeah.
So that's
all right. So, do you want to start this off, or do I want to start this off?
I'll go first.
Hit us with that Yakuza Zero.
Yeah. So I've been playing Yakuza Zero. The game is nuts. We've known this. I knew of the Yakuza series, and I know enough to be comfortable with it, right? But never got super hands-on. Mm-hmm. And I knew there was crazy nuts things that happened, but I didn't realize at which point.
To what extent?
Consistently nuts.
Yeah, to what extent it's fucking insane for crazy people.
You have ridiculous action, kicking dudes out of 5-story windows, throwing them off the bridge in Osaka into the lake.
Jesus fuck.
Literal murder heat moves that would definitely kill a person, but somehow no, you didn't kill nobody. Don't worry about it.
Well, everybody in the Yakuza universe is just that much physically weirder and stronger than most people.
Oh, it's nuts.
I mean, Kiryu is a fucking machine.
Kiryu's a beast. One of my favorite heat moves is when you're running up to someone who's on the ground and you just kick them in the head, but they fucking helicopter spiral into the air
Jesus.
5 feet away. It's nuts. It's ridiculous.
Insane.
The animations are amazing and funny, and it's super hype. And I love how the mood just shifts where it's hey, you just beat the shit out of that guy who owes this guy money. Let's go do karaoke. And then you have the fucking, a rhythm game with some Japanese karaoke. And at the end, it gets really hype and everyone's suddenly wearing costumes. And, Kiryu and, I forget his name, his brother, look like they were just pulled from, Battle Tendencies.
Oh yeah, no, straight up.
And just fucking are singing, and there's the barman is on a keyboard suddenly, and you're like, what the fuck is this game?
And then, it's
amazing.
Suddenly this shit has become like a fucking Elton John concert.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And, yeah, no, exactly. It's fucking hilarious. But, it's also very long because, my friend played it also, and apparently what he did was he got really into the story, so he just dodged all the sub-stories. So now he's going back to all the sub-stories. But, that's what I did, too, when he told me that. But I was like, oh, no, you want to, I think I had, when I was 8 hours in-ish, I was still, as Kiryu, which is still, chapter 2 to 3, I think.
Yeah.
So it's, very early game, but I was just doing so much shit. And then you go sit down and play the fucking Sega arcade games, which are just real Sega games.
Yeah, you can play a bunch of that shit.
You can play Outrun, it's amazing.
So the game is set in the 80s, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yakuza Zero is in the 80s.
It's set in the 80s, and there's a bunch of, 80s-y themed shit you can do, like play old. I mean, a lot of the other Yakuza games have stuff where you can play Sega arcade games.
Yeah,
but it's like
Yakuza 1 has what was it? Some mech fighting game kind of thing, and I think Virtua Fighter's in there.
Virtua Fighter is in there, and I know that that's kind of like a holdover from the series' stylistic parent, which is the Shenmue games.
Yeah,
which are pretty.
But
like,
it's just
Yakuza is like
Shenmue game.
What if Shenmue was actually really polished and had a more consistent narrative and a consistent release schedule, and also wasn't like a technological linchpin as opposed to an actual game that's fun to play.
I was a Chinese.
Like I
was young.
I played Shenmue once or twice, and I
bounced the fuck off every time I tried to touch that game.
I respect the game immensely. I respect what's his name? The creator. Let me see. Because he was.
I don't know.
He was a big deal. Yu Suzuki.
It was ambitious.
Yeah, Yu Suzuki. Sorry. So I respect Yu Suzuki. I think that he is a really ambitious developer, especially for his time. I mean, he literally made a game so ambitious that like Shenmue was one of the most expensive games. I think the most expensive game ever made at the time it came out. And it was a really, really influential title. He was known for like doing like he made like Super Hang-On and stuff like that. Like he made arcade games and like Virtua Racing and like Strike Fighter, and he made Virtua Fighter as well. And Daytona, which is one of my favorite racing games of all time. He produced that. So like Virtua Cop as well, another game that he directed, Virtua Fighter 2. Like the dude had like a legacy of really, really great games behind his back, like
he threw it all out.
He decided to do something really different. I mean, initially I think Shenmue started out as a Virtua Fighter spin-off, like a Virtua Fighter adventure game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he decided kind of midway through that he was like, let's make something
this its own thing.
Its own thing. And what he meant by his own thing is something that's completely fucking insane, especially for the time. Like
could you imagine working on that game?
No.
And being like, you want a what?
Do you want a game where you can do anything?
But also time is... I think the flaw, though, also is time is, like, real in that game. Like, you can only do certain things at certain times of the day.
Yeah. Which, I mean...
It's like Animal Crossing, but, like, it... Sometimes there's hours where you're just like, I can't fucking do anything.
That's a really ambitious decision. The one thing I need to do is
bullshit. Yeah.
That's a really ambitious decision, but at the same time, it's like,
Ambition doesn't always equal good.
Exactly. But I have to admire the dude's ambition. He was, I guess still is to an extent, a visionary. Hopefully the people who paid for Shenmue 3 actually got their fucking money's worth.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, did we talk about that? The fucking epic Shenmue thing?
No, we didn't, but we could talk about that later, because that's definitely something I think that needs to be... It's old news, but you know what? Honestly, Epic kind of getting in the way of Steam, and like both of them kind of having competition with one another has created a lot of in the gaming community, like a division, I think.
It's like a weird console war, but it's the same console.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so stupid.
It's really fucking old kind of mentality of my dad is better than your dad because my dad works at Nintendo and your dad works at Sega kind of thing. Yeah, it's very juvenile, but there is also some real problems with how Epic distributes games. Not that there aren't with Steam. Steam is rife with its own fucking issues. Jesus Christ, who can forget that for half a decade we were fucking like made to look like clowns by Steam Greenlight. But yeah, like fucking the way the Epic Game Store has gotten titles that were, initially going to be widely available to become exclusives in like late periods into their development, especially games that were crowdfunded.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new Metro game that was the first victim of the bullshit Epic Store thing, right? The discs, like the boxes that were sent for the PC version just had a little Epic Store sticker put over the Steam logo.
Yeah.
Like you could peel it back and just see that it still had the Steam logo on the actual printed out
which is
box paper, I guess.
I think that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
That means that was like the latest decision ever.
Yeah, it was a late period acquisition for Epic that they mostly did in the spirit of competing as opposed to making the game widely available to players, which is when what's almost like companies prioritize sales over their clientele. What?
Wait, what happened? You cut off real bad.
I'm sorry about
a good 30 seconds.
Sorry about that. Oh, it's almost like companies prioritize sales over their clientele.
Oh yeah,
because.
But why would they do in the free market? What is the benefit? Oh wait, that's the whole Oh, okay.
Capitalism is evil. Sorry, weird. I'm sick.
Yes, yeah.
But
this isn't a political podcast. Nope.
There's no politics in games. We're apolitical. No.
Especially not the game industry. There's no politics to be had.
Speaking of politics in games, I have a couple of politics in games things to say later. Holy fuck. Yeah. There's been some stuff I want to talk about regarding Blizzard and also Square Enix.
Oh fuck, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a
there's some
way to
shit.
Make like Blizzard already wasn't really doing themselves any favor with just how they've been running things, but way to like I feel like they shot themselves in the foot before with like just game decisions and how they kind of do things. But like with this, it's like they doused themselves in gasoline.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of shitting your bed as you set yourself on fire. Like it's
shitting a bed that is on fire.
It's such a monumentally bad look. But we'll get to that. Right now, let's
drop the ball. You fell off of a cliff.
Let's talk about that Yakuza because that game is really good.
Yes. Also not political at all.
Nope, definitely not. No game about the 80s because the 80s were an apolitical time, as we're all aware.
Yeah.
And by apolitical, we mean the most conservative period since now.
It's a period piece. Don't worry about it.
And it's fucking insane.
It's nuts. You can feel the like passion in those games.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Like I've been playing a lot of super high quality games lately, and it feels fucking great. It's just like you can feel the love that the team like puts into it,
and the level of polish is like.
Yeah,
I have stuff to say about that for some of the games I played too. But there's something to be said about playing a game that's been fine-tuned to hell by people who know what they're doing and care so much about providing the player with like a smooth experience, and whether it's just small quality of life details or like fully like overhauling the way the controller is used and how button input is done, and just to make the gameplay experience that much more seamless and smooth. It really helps if your game is something that's meant to be fully immersive like Yakuza. It really helps to have just completely like just bog perfect controls and gameplay mechanics.
I'm super excited to see what they do with Yakuza 7.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because that being a like actual turn-based RPG now makes the most sense it's ever made.
Is this also supposed to be the first game in the series where Kiryu is not the protagonist?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's like a huge step for the series, the next title.
Yeah. You know why they're making it turn-based and everything, right?
No, I don't.
It's because the main character is fucking obsessed with Dragon Quest. So he just imagines all his fights are turn-based.
No way.
And that's why it's called Yakuza Like a Dragon. And all the like heat moves and shit, and because like you have heat moves where animals come in and stuff, that's all just in his imagination.
And that's gonna, and I guess
Dragon Quest so much.
And the game's just called Like a Dragon or Yakuza Like a Dragon. Ryu ga Gakuto Geki Joban. Like a Dragon the movie? What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good entry.
Holy shit.
And they were like, look, we're trying out the turn-based thing. If it doesn't work out, we'll go back, but we really want to do this.
A 4-person battle system. Holy. So Kasuga
so you're gonna have
is the
like
main
a party.
Character. It's in Kamurocho.
Yeah, so Kiryu will probably be there.
Oh wait, no, it's not in Kamurocho. It's
not.
It's in Isazaki and Jiko, Ijincho, based on the Isezaki Hicho district of Yokohama. Kamurocho and Sotenbori are going to be in it too.
Nice.
But yeah, it's the first game to not have Kiryu as the protagonist. The main character is Kasuga Ichiban. Holy shit. More outspoken and emotive than Kiryu. Holy
he's gonna be.
fuck.
He looks like cartoonish almost.
That's
in
so
the way
great.
he acts.
And
it'll be cool.
It's set in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. I cannot fucking wait. A soft reboot of the series. That sounds amazing. I hope it's good.
I do too. It probably will be if the quality continues like this. Because, like, it's real-time action. The, Yakuza series, it's like an action game, but it's so RPG. Like, you have a move wheel that you unlock by dumping cash into your open mouth, apparently.
Oh my god.
There's also there's claw machines, right?
Yeah.
And you fucking get swept up in those real hard. I think I spent like an hour and a half just like playing the claw machine and being like, yes.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It's a really good series. I'm super stoked to get Kiwami 1 and 2, which are the remakes, and they're apparently also working on remasters of like 3, 4, 5, 3, 4 maybe.
How was
because
this series is like a storied series in Japan. We've only been so lucky as to receive them recently.
Yeah.
But there's so many games in the series that I've never heard of. Like this one that's just like apparently like a survival horror game where you play as a member of the Japanese self-defense forces.
From Yakuza?
From Yakuza. Yeah, it's called Yakuza Dead Souls. There's also Like a Dragon Yakuza Restoration. Yakuza Ishin, it's called. It's set in fucking the samurai era instead of regular modern Japan.
That's good.
This is insane. There's so many games in the series. There's a Fist of the North Star game. I heard about that, but it's just Fist of the North Star with the mechanics of Yakuza. Yeah. And then Judgment just came out recently, and that's like it's like you play as a lawyer or a private investigator, don't you?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with Yakuza.
Well, it's
like at all.
Isn't it set in Kamurocho?
It's the same team. It's the same team and stuff, but there's not even a mention of like Kiryu or any of the other bosses.
Oh no, but it's set in Kamurocho. Like it's in the same world,
and it's the same team. It's the same team and shit.
I heard it's not as good. I feel bad for Pierre Taki.
Pierre Taki.
The guy who basically got that shit halted because Japan's got fucked up drug laws.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy from. I think he's from
6.
Denki Groove. Like he was from the band Denki Groove. Like he's an actor and musician.
Oh yeah.
He was the guy from Denki Groove, who are a really really good band, by the way. You guys should listen to Denki Groove. They're like a great dance band. But he like got in trouble for cocaine possession, and they like shut him the fuck down.
Deleted him.
Yeah, just for
he got
fucking
disappeared.
History. Jesus,
he got disappeared.
Jesus
Nuts.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, and that of course is fucking our bad.
I feel so bad for that for them. Yeah. And also for the developers for having to deal with that sort of shit. They had to go in and fucking change like everything about the main character's fucking appearance. Or not the main character, but one of the antagonist characters' fucking appearances. Just for
there's also the one guy who got who lost his job. Like I think he was a voice actor or something. But he had to be fired because he may know somebody who maybe has ties to the Yakuza. The people who make the Yakuza series I heard about that. May have something to do.
Well, Toshihiro Nagoshi, the guy who makes the games, is like admittedly kind of like he was like a weird like Yankee boy in his youth who would like beat the shit out of people, and he got involved in crime. So have
you ever been involved in crime?
Have you ever been involved in crime and then made biographical video games? afterwards.
Yeah, what if this is just... It's just a fucking...
Yakuza's one man's
like
autobiography.
a documentary of his life.
Yeah, it's his autobiography.
Yeah.
That's so fucking... Imagine.
Oh, my foot's asleep. Oh, God.
Gotta wake that shit up.
Wake it up.
So yeah, the Yakuza games are pretty fucking amazing.
They're amazing.
There's so much you can do. I mean, like, what's some of the shit you can do on the side just in general in this game? I know you can do karaoke. I know
you can do karaoke. You can play mahjong, which no, thanks.
You can go to like titty bars.
There's actually it's an adult video store, and you find these cards right around the town, which are they're called telephone cards, and they just have like a model on them. And I think they got like real Japanese porn stars, and you can go to the adult video store. It's like 800 yen. You go and you watch this like super soft core porn video, and like the video plays, and at the end of the video, it just camera fixes a Kleenex box, and Majima goes, whew.
Oh!
And you're like, oh
my
god. It's hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
It's the funniest shit.
That's okay. That's not what I was expecting.
And they give you an achievement that's just like, I did it for the achievement. And you're like, oh, God. Why?
I did it for the achievement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
There's mahjong, there's darts.
That's
there's
cool.
Very, like, it's actually really fun.
I heard it's an in-depth darts mini game. Like, there's like a whole story arc around it.
Yeah, there's a whole story arc around it. There's mini RC car racing that apparently also has this fucking nutso story arc. There's, what was it called? I don't remember what, like, the thing is called, but essentially it's just babe wrestling, and you pick a girl to bet on, and you get to control her in this not quite fighting game style, but like QTE style fight against another big tittied waifu.
Oh my god.
And yeah, it's just, like I said, like I was 10 hours in almost, and like was just doing sub stories of like, hey, my girlfriend's acting weird, can you find out why she's acting weird? Oh, I think she might be cheating on me or like selling herself, and then you go talk to the girlfriend, and
she's like, no, I'm just in like girl battles.
No. She's like, I'm selling my panties because this one girl in school makes us all sell our panties, and we make so much money, but I hate doing this. It feels so gross.
Oh.
And you're like, oh god, okay, what the fuck, okay.
Ew,
and you go talk to the leader of the ring. And she's like, I will never stop this. And you're like, but it's dangerous. You're like a child. It's dangerous and fucked up. And she's like, fuck you. And you're like, all right, well, time to walk away. And some obsessed stalker dude comes up with a knife and is like, well, if you won't date me, blah, blah, blah. So you have to beat the shit out of him. And then she's like,
God.
Oh my goodness. You were right. I'm going to stop everything. And you're like, what?
What the fuck?
There's my favorite one so far. Holy shit. I just remembered it. You walk by this dominatrix club, and there's a dominatrix trying to be mean to a guy, but she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want to be mean. Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I hate you. And she doesn't know how to be like a dominatrix, so you have to go to a park and like teach her how to be like a dominatrix, and Kiryu's just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life right now?
It's what you're describing to me is insanity.
Yes.
Pardon that
and that's
sound,
that's two of the sub stories.
That's fucking insane. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's so many. There's one where like a kid goes to buy not Dragon Quest 3, and then he gets it, and it gets stolen by like a high schooler, and then it gets stolen by like some fucking random dude, and then it gets stolen by a Yakuza, and you're like talking to the Yakuza, you're like, look, I need to fucking give this to the fucking kid. He's like, I'll fucking kill you for this game. You're like, okay. So you beat the shit out of him,
for a video
and then
game.
The kid comes up and is like, oh, Dad, is that you? And then the Yakuza guy's like, my child that I stole this game for. And you're like, oh, whoops.
I love the gift of the
I didn't mean
Magi.
to beat the shit out of your dad.
Jesus fucking Christ.
To give you your game, like, it's
yeah, that's
it's
like
hilarious.
the weird Japanese Gift of the Magi adaptation.
Yeah.
In the middle of a Yakuza game, because that's just how these games are.
Where else would it be? Where else are you gonna put
That's
that?
so fucking ridiculous.
Oh man, it's nuts. It's so nuts.
And
the combat system is fun.
Yeah. It's like a mix of like
not character action-y.
It's like a mix of character action, traditional beat 'em up, and like reactive time combat from Kingdom Hearts. A little bit.
Because he moves are on Y/triangle. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it's cool. It's almost RPG like in the way that you.
It's diet character action.
Yeah, it's very character actiony. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that like gameplay style transitions into turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really interesting. I'm excited to see how that. Honestly, the prospect of a turn-based RPG Yakuza game makes me even more excited to try the series out. And especially if it's going to be a welcoming entry for new players. I like me a turn-based RPG, which is mostly what I've been playing the past 5 weeks. Because I've only been playing turn-based RPGs, even though
they're fun.
Got other games.
I mean, they can be fun. Sometimes they're not fun.
They're my comfort game. You know, like it's the video game equivalent of eating like a hearty home-cooked meal for me. I mean, yeah, is that everything we want to say about Yakuza?
Yeah, that's everything I want to say about Yakuza, but I also want to talk about one last game.
Sure.
You may have heard of it or not.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Siren.
Spelled with a Y?
Hold on. I gotta see. Yes. No.
Siren game.
Siren series. I think it's Project Siren. No, yeah, it's just Siren survival game.
Okay. Forbidden Siren. Oh, I've heard of this game.
Yeah, I played the first one for a bit, for as long as we could.
Okay.
That game is weird. It's Resident Evil-y.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a gimmick where you get to see through like the monster's eyes, right? So you can plan your route.
Oh.
So like, say there's a zombie walking around, right? And you're like, oh, I need to get past him, but where is he looking? Will he see me? So you can, what was it called? Sight jack?
Okay, sight jack.
Yeah. But the way you do it feels bad. And I think they remade it, and maybe they remade it better because we played like the original like 2000 release.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to be Silent Hill really, really bad, to the point where before the zombies come out, a siren plays, but it's the exact same Silent Hill MP3, and you're just like, oh, okay. You sidejack by like tuning the radio with the 2 analog sticks, and it's really fucking frustrating. Cause it's, like Skyrim lockpicking kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that on both joysticks, but not fun. It's nuts. I don't know why they did it like that. I mean, I guess I know why, because you can like equip hot buttons, right? So you press X after if you press X while you're doing it, it saves to the X button. So every time you're trying to sidejack, you can just press the X button and it'll go automatically. But it was really hard to get it perfectly because you're using both joysticks, and then you have to press X, and your thumbs are already doing the thing. So you're like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's a strange little novelty, I guess. I'm glad we checked it out.
That's pretty interesting
we're gonna go back to it because I'm interested in where it goes.
I find it's always neat to see how a lot of those early 2000s survival horror games made like a genuine effort to differentiate themselves from Resident Evil without also alienating Resident Evil fans, because they would also just kind of do a lot of Resident Evil stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's an interesting era for survival horror in particular. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the peak of survival horror, honestly.
Yeah, it really was. Like there was never a period in history where survival horror was like more prevalent as like a popular genre, because it was like, I mean, that's the time that we get the Resident Evil movies. Even you see just how popular those games are. That like a bunch of different people were trying to capitalize on that success.
And then they were like, "Hey, let's do the Silent Hill also."
Oh yeah, no. And then you get like a lot of other like kind of weird takes later on that are just kind of like, you get like the sci-fi, your sci-fi flavored Resident Evil kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then you get like your just there's like a whole bunch of different like side games and shit that like eventually kind of come together, and like just like you get all those weird spin-off Resident Evils.
Oh god, yeah. There's like 10 Resident Evil games that Resident Evil fans just disregard entirely.
Yeah, like I mean, we were talking about Resident Evil Survivor.
Oh
like,
god, it's so funny. And
there's that FPS Resident Evil game.
Yeah, there's a few. I think,
there's a couple of them. You get like the weird smaller games in the series that people kind of misremember, like Code Veronica. Like there was so many attempts of the series to kind of like branch out and become different things, and so many other companies trying to capitalize on that same like popularity. It's really strange.
I feel like survival horror needs to make a big comeback with things that aren't like Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because I miss it. And there's a lot of horror games now too, but they're not survival horror. They're just like,
they're different.
Run away from the monster.
Well,
and you're like,
there are some pretty good survival horror games that came out recently, but they're mostly like, they always are mechanically a little different, because like I feel like now we're kind of in that era where we're trying to move away from the Resident Evil style of horror, and there's only some people going back to it as kind of a nostalgia thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like modern horror games are a really different beast. I feel like a lot of modern horror games were influenced by Amnesia. So Amnesia was like the first survival horror game in a long time to come out and do something to really differentiate itself from like the Resident Evil formula, and I feel like Amnesia is the game that changed.
I wouldn't count Amnesia as a survival horror. I'd count it more as just horror.
Well, it's like it's an adventure game.
It's like a thriller.
It almost is like an old school PC adventure game like Myst, with survival horror mechanics, in that the premise of the game is to survive with limited resources and like 0 to no forms of self-defense, which to me is survival horror mechanic, like giving the player
I feel like if it's
weapons.
Gonna be survival horror, it's like, I get where you're coming from, but like for me in my mind I always internalized it as survival horror needing at least a weapon, but with limited resources.
Oh, okay. I always feel like I always put more emphasis on the survival aspect being just like the mechanics of the game are centered around you not getting fucking killed or overwhelmed, despite like low odds of you surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's fair.
I feel like if the game sets you up with like low odds against a more powerful adversary, that is enough to call it like survival horror. Just because the premise of the game is overcoming like odds that are against you. But that's we're getting into pedantics at that point.
Yeah.
There's also those like other games that came out. Those two Resident Evil ripoffs that are like dinosaur Resident Evil games.
Oh yeah, Dino Crisis.
Yes, Dino Crisis. Yeah, they're like fucking. They're ridiculous. It's like, what if Resident Evil but Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
it's very
Bring
fucking.
Back Dino.
That's so early.
Make
2000s.
Dino Crisis 2 remake. Jesus,
those games are fucking funny, and they have like nut stories. There's that one that's underwater. That Resident Evil clone that's set underwater. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Bioshock?
No. I feel like Bioshock kind of changed horror games too, because that's
definitely.
That's definitely a game that I'd call a horror game. But
I feel like Bioshock changed horror games so much that Bioshock Infinite was barely a Bioshock game.
Yeah, I'd Bailey a horror game.
yeah. It was apolitical for sure.
Mm-hmm, definitely apolitical. All the Bioshock games are apolitical. It's not like they're about how Randian objectivism is a garbage ideology that's doomed to fail, and that conservatism and hypernationalism are bad. But they're apolitical games, right? They're totally apolitical. Although I have to say,
throw the baseball? No.
There is kind of a ridiculous amount of people that I knew who played Bioshock who are like, I'm going to go read Atlas Shrugged after playing this game because I'm, like, unironically interested in Andrew Ryan's ideology. And I'm like, oh no, you misinterpreted this piece of art.
My favorite movie is also Fight Club.
Yeah, my favorite movie is also Fight Club. Oh, great. Oh, wow, he is literally me.
Why is it your favorite movie? Oh, because Tyler Durden's me.
I'm gonna go suck John Galt dick now, I guess. Like, fucking... Oh. There's so many people who played those games and are like, Randium objectivism good? Question mark? And I'm like, no, they're not. Randium objectivism is very bad. Don't read Atlas Shrugged. It's terrible and about how selfishness is a good thing, which it isn't.
That's like all the Cyberpunk 2077 commercials being like, the game will explore if you change so much of yourself with robotics, are you even still human? It's like, yes, the answer is yes. Why are you...
Yes, of course we are. We are human.
What?
There are people who have prosthetic limbs now! You idiots!
Yeah, like, stop making it a thing.
Cyberpunk is not in the 80s anymore. Like, we have foresight. We have hindsight and foresight on our side.
If Have Robo-Arm are still human?
Yes!
Woman with robo-arm comes up. Yeah?
No.
Why would you?
Fucking ridiculous. So that shit's... No, anyway.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, interesting, and all of the games that came out around that era, like Siren, kind of neat. Kind of neat little experiments, the way that they tried to differentiate themselves.
Speaking of the survival horrors, since it is the Octobers, I'm going to be streaming tonight.
Ooh.
Some spook game. I'm not sure which one. I might revisit Alan Wake.
That Alan Wake is a great horror game.
Yeah.
And it's not even really... That's one of those games, too, that's like almost not a horror game. But it kind of is. Because it uses the, like... the mechanics of horror games and uses kind of the iconography.
Yeah, but well, I mean, it's Stephen King, the game.
Yeah. Like, it's very Stephen King. But even Stephen King, I feel like a lot of his horror kind of toes the line. As somebody who's
Stephen King's a hack.
As somebody who's a big Stephen King fan, or at least an avid Stephen King reader who's read a lot of his work, I feel like his horror really toes the line between horror and like thriller mystery.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes
his endings are always kind of like, oh.
Well, he's a very esoteric writer. Occasionally,
yeah,
he writes some shit that's just like, I mean, you haven't watched Dreamcatcher.
No.
That's a Stephen King adaptation, and it sure is something.
So is it part 2?
I don't even want to watch it. That's how reluctant I am. Not fucking interested. But yeah. Alan Wake would be a good one. Alan Wake would be a good one to play.
Yeah, and like I never finished it, and I want to play Control.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to play Control really bad because I heard that Control is like one back from Alan Wake.
It is.
Like in the fact that like in Control there's a case file that is just Alan Wake. Right? Like you read a file and you're like, that's Alan Wake.
There it is.
So Alan Wake is like piece inside of this world.
I know that I've heard Control
and Max Payne,
is mixed.
Max Payne is the fight. I heard that there's an end sequence that is the worst like boss fight since like Arkham Asylum Joker.
Oh wow, really? Damn.
Yeah.
Shit. That's a hard bar to top, honestly, because that is a disappointing end to a great game.
Man, that was. I remember beating Arkham Asylum and being like, "What is this feeling of
supreme
like
disappointment?"
I feel like someone stole something from me.
Oh yeah, no. Well, apart from your time,
like, oh god,
that was a pretty anticlimactic ending. But that's I've heard Control is mediocre. I haven't played it yet, and I don't have a console to play it on, so I won't be. But it's I've heard mixed things from a variety of people who are just kind of like, yeah, it's like an interesting premise that's like they fail to deliver entirely on.
I heard the opposite, but I mean, it depends on the person too. Like, if you're not going through reading, because it's a Remedy game, right? So if you're not reading all the files.
Well, I mean, I imagine people were if they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't.
But yeah, that's true.
Because everyone who I've talked to about it is like, "Oh, the game's amazing. You spend so much time fucking reading, but it's so good. It pays off." And other people were like, I don't know. I didn't get it.
I've just heard like it doesn't do anything like narratively that's like really interesting. Like it's the story is just kind of dog shit. Like it's this is really derivative, and I've read or seen a bunch of other media that does the same thing but better. Which that's what I've heard. That's like one of the major criticisms I heard leveled at it, is that like for a game that was trying to sell itself as like a totally unique narrative experience, it's like it's the most bog standard predictable kind of fucking narrative for anybody who has ever like invested time in that genre. Which to me is that's why I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm not interested. Like if I'm as somebody who is like, once again, like I've indulged far too much in like thriller, mystery, science fiction, all of that sort of shit. I'm just like, I'm not gonna play or read something that's like bog standard bullshit in that regard, because that's like a genre that needs to surprise me to work. You know? Yeah. Otherwise it's like otherwise it toes into like bad media territory, which is fine. But like,
I'm still gonna check it out.
Yeah, no, of course. Give it a try and see how it goes for you.
I'll come back with the final verdict.
Come back for updates.
Trash or not trash? Good. What's the opposite of trash?
Good. Trash.
It's got a rhyme. Trash. Mash.
Mashed potatoes are good.
Mashed potatoes. Yeah, mashed potatoes. See,
mashed potatoes
are the same line.
Mashed potatoes are always good,
especially if you put more butter
and gravy.
Yep. Oh god, the gravy.
Oh shit! It's almost Thanksgiving. Bitch.
Oh, Canadian Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving means I get fucking
the canon Thanksgiving.
Potatoes and gravy on Monday. Fuck yeah. Dab on the haters. But
I'm going on Saturday because my family works.
Yeah,
all week.
We have. Well, don't you have Thanksgiving Monday off as a holiday?
I work in a restaurant.
Oh, that's true.
So no.
Whoops. No, people do go out on that day.
Yeah.
Well. The hands of time.
Hopefully not for long.
I work at a family-owned establishment, so they just like, yeah, we have to do Thanksgiving, so we're closing the store for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, all right.
Sick.
But all right, so
you sure you don't want to pay me overtime?
It's from games that might be predictable to games that are always predictable but nevertheless enjoyable.
Dragon Quest.
I bought Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of the Elusive Age S for the Switch, which is the I guess like the updated.
It's the definitive edition.
The definitive edition port of Dragon Quest XI, which is a game that came out in 2018, at least in North America.
It has things that like the PC doesn't have.
Like this is a nearly 3-year-old game. Came out in 2017 in Japan. It was ported to the 3DS. It was on the most consoles except for the Switch. Now it's out on the Switch, and it's been re-released on other consoles too as the definitive edition of the game. Amongst its features, it has dual voice acting as opposed to just English or just Japanese for both localized versions. So it's
got the fucking cool 2D camera mode that I love.
It's got a 2D. It's got a 2D camera mode, which essentially converts the entire game into a 2D Dragon Quest game, which is pretty cool. I haven't really used it yet, just because there's so much beautiful visuals to drink in.
Yeah, of course. Game. Like, I feel like that is a second place.
Yeah, that's like a thing that I'm gonna do another day. But it's definitely like a feature that like they should give you the option to turn on at pretty much any church that you save at or any goddess statue. You can switch to 2D on the fly. Nice. That's a really, really nice feature. It creates a new save state for you, obviously, because they have to. But it's a cool it's a cool thing that at any point in the game you can just switch it to 2D. but it is a fully immersive 3D world. Some other features that it includes, it has an entire new middle period in the game. It's the period I'm at now. So the game is segmented into 3 parts, but now it's segmented into 4. So I'm about, I want to say halfway through, just a little below halfway through. But there's the World of Light saga, which is the first chapter of the game, which has taken me a good 12 hours to get through. So that's already pretty long. Now I'm in the RPG. Now I'm in the world. Now I'm in the World of Hope chapter. This is the additional chapter they've added into the second part of the game. It is essentially mini episodic adventures featuring the party members, kind of like the so in Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen, the game is kind of segmented into chapters like that too, where you play individual chapters of all the party members having adventures before you form the party and go out on your adventure together. And this is kind of a mini tribute to that, where every party member that you've met throughout your quest in the game, in this midpoint, there's a part in the game where you all get separated. I won't spoil narratively why that happens, but you all get separated from one another. And in the original version of the game, that separation period is hinted at, but you go around, kind of re-meeting all your party members in the second part of the game.
Okay, yeah.
Now, before you do that, there's a whole other chapter where you see how the other characters got to the point that you meet them at in the next chapter, which is very cool. So I'm at that point right now. I've started off and I'm playing as Sylvando. The game has a really, really great... I'll start all over. Dragon Quest XI, fully 3D open world JRPG. It's got a beautiful world, and it's got kind of classic style JRPG progression, which means it's a lot of problem solving and kind of figuring out where to go based on geographical hints and clues, as opposed to being outright told. Although there are options where you could there are characters you can ask to kind of point you in the right direction quickly and efficiently. But for people like me who really like those old school JRPGs where there's not a lot of kind of hand holding, it reminds me of that to an extent. All the Dragon Quest games are kind of like that. They expect you to learn the geography of the world map and to differentiate between the different towns. And they do that in a good way, because ever since I want to say Dragon Quest 3, they've made an effort to make every town you visit have a distinct kind of flavor. So they're always kind of based on different ethnicities, or they're analogous to some real world culture. So there's one of the first major towns you visit in Dragon Quest XI is called Hoto, and it's based on Sengoku era Japan. It's very it's got a Japanese aesthetic. And and there's the town you go to immediately after is called Gallipolis, and it's kind of ancient Egypt, Middle Eastern flavored. And then after that you go to Gondolia, and it's Venice. It's just Venice. So nice. And all the characters have Italian accents, and all the characters in the Middle Eastern part have kind of a Middle Eastern accent like this. They make an effort to kind of differentiate the different cultures in the game to make the world feel a little more alive, unified but real. Lived in. Yeah, exactly. It's a really, really, really immersive world, and I like it. There's there's a lot of characters in the game. The premise is that I want to say 20 years or so before you start out the game, or maybe 16 years or something, the kingdom of your birthright, Dundrasil, is destroyed by monsters, razed entirely. And you, being the child that is the reincarnation of the hero that saved the world a billion years ago, of time. He's called the Luminary. You have to you are raised in a small little village. It's very Ocarina of Time, very
Tales of Symphonia.
It's the most, as Dragon Quest is kind of the basis for all JRPG storytelling.
Yeah, and it's a JRPG.
Yeah, rarely ever strays from that format of storytelling at all. It is what it is. However, the thing that defines Dragon Quest, apart from its very strict adherence to traditional JRPG conventions, is just how polished it always is. And this game oozes polish in a way that even the initial release didn't. So I like another major difference, for instance, is that like all the music in the initial release was MIDI synths, and all the music in this is fully orchestrated. It's performed by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra, which is really
and it's way better than it was at first.
Yeah, it sounded really, and you have the option to switch between the two if you do have a preference for the MIDI synths. Don't know why you would, but the fact that the option exists is nice.
I think that was the only like criticism that I heard throughout. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, the music's not.
It's not great.
I don't know why they did that."
Yeah. Well, now that issue is fixed, which is nice. And I guess like overall, like I said, the game just kind of oozes polish. You have a lot of different options for how you want to play the game. Obviously, you can switch between 2D and 3D, but even the battle system is flexible in that you can do the traditional turn-based combat, which is what I do because I like it. But you can also do this thing called freeform combat, which is turn-based combat and like functionally really no different, except you can place where your characters are, like in a circular battlefield, and you can surround the enemy, make different poses. It's basically like kind of a photo mode friendly battle system that like, and if you even press like the shoulder button during battle, all the UI disappears. Ooh. So you can just like have these cool cinematic kind of battle scenes for yourself, which is really, really interesting. You can also, like a bunch of the other previous Dragon Quest games, you can set your party members to be controlled by you or be AI controlled and focus on particular stuff. So there's like a billion different battle options just for like what is still a traditionally turn-based battle system. There is a billion options. The weapon system is the same as the previous Dragon Quest. Different weapons kind of do different things. There are swords, great swords, stabs, wands, whips, spears, and boomerangs and knives, and all of these things have different kind of battle effects. There's also axes later on in the game, and there are, I think, scythes as well. But like whips can hit a group of 2 or 3 enemies of the same type at the same time. There's also this. So this is a thing that maybe differentiates Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. So there's the group all split, which means that enemies as they appear on the battlefield can be split into groups of enemies. So groups of the same enemy of multiple types, or like a single enemy. So sometimes you might encounter a battle where it's a single enemy of one type and 4 of another type of enemy. And if you have a whip, for instance, if you want to attack all of them at once, you can't. You can only attack the group or the single one. And then some spells and abilities target everybody on the battlefield, and some spells and abilities and attacks only like a boomerang, for instance, hits every monster on the battlefield because it's a fucking boomerang. But like a whip, for instance, you can hit a group, but you can hit the single. You can't hit them all at the same time because you don't have a cat of 9 tails. You have a regular whip, So that is an interesting thing that kind of changes how the flow of combat works in Dragon Quest. So sometimes maybe you want to focus the characters that have weapons that affect multiple enemies on the group of enemies, and characters that have weapons that focus on the singular type of enemy to hit the singular enemy. So it changes how you set your party up. Multiple characters have different weapon options. So like the main character, for instance, can wield swords and shields, and can also wield great swords, which is a 2-handed sword where you're not allowed a shield, which is what I make the main character use because they become my tank essentially. But the main character can also use magic, which defines them from the other sword wielding characters a lot of the time, right? Some characters have no magic abilities at all. Jade, for instance, can use fisticuffs, so like martial arts, spears and claws, like ninja claws. But she has no magic at all. That. She has MP abilities that use MP, like she has like special abilities that use up all your MP and shit like that. But she doesn't have any magic, so she doesn't learn spells. But characters like Rab, for instance, he's got ninja claws, he's got staves, so like wizard staves, like a 2-handed staff, and he's also got magic. So there's characters are organized and set up differently, and you can usually customize them to play how you want. So Eric, who's the first party member you get in the series, in the game, he's like a thief. He can use knives, swords and shields, and boomerangs. So I make him use boomerangs because if I'm going to have the main character using...
It's effective.
Yeah. If I'm going to have the main character using a singular weapon, I want somebody with a weapon that has multiple enemy coverage. So I set Eric up to play that way. Then you get characters like Veronica and Serena. Veronica has the ability to use whips, but she can also use staves. So she doesn't really have high attack stats, so especially when she starts out. So I just keep her as my mage because she's got very powerful magic skills. She's also got the lowest HP of any of the characters. Then you have Serena, who has higher HP and mostly kind of white mage capabilities, like cleric capabilities. But she can also use spears. And she does have better attack than Veronica. And her HP is higher because she's a cleric. So she can be your healer, but she can also be your spear person if you need a spear person in that party setup. Sylvando, who's my favorite character in the game, I will talk about him after because I'm in love with this man, can use swords and shields, knives, and whips. And he's like a circus performer, like a jester. So he has a bunch of MP abilities and spells that would make sense for like a circusy kind of person to have. So he's got like a thing where he can blow fire. Or he's got abilities that can charm the enemy into submission, you know? And those take up MP. But he also has whips, and he has swords and shields. But he can't use heavy shields. There's a distinction between light and heavy shields, too. Heavy shields, only the main character and another character you get later on in the game, who I won't spoil because it's kind of a spoiler who he is, can use heavy shields. But Sylvando can use... And Sylvando and Serena, who has wands and spears, she can use a shield with her wand. So some characters can use, and also Eric can use the light shields too, but light shields and heavy shields, there's a distinction between them, which is an interesting thing, right?
Yeah, it's usually, some games do it. It's becoming more and more a thing.
Exactly. I feel like with more games offering you more combat options, especially traditional RPGs, is something that I'm always going to be really happy about. It's something that I like about... It's something that Final Fantasy doesn't really do often, but other RPG series do. Fire Emblem, for instance, which I'm going to talk about later, a lot of the characters can multi-class, or be in classes that have multiple weapon proficiency. But there's not really any sort of traditional class system in Dragon Quest, at least not in 11. There are in some of the other titles. So characters are always kind of multi-classing, but you can choose where you want them to focus with, you have a sphere grid kind of ability board sort of thing. And you can choose where to focus their abilities. So Jade, for instance, I don't even bother with her with claws. She's mostly fisticuffs and spears. And Rab, I've made him kind of good all around, but he has claws, and I use him he's a powerful offensive player just as he is a mage. So I use him in both ways, for instance. So I make him more a little one-sided, or two-sided. And then Sylvando, same thing. He's good with swords and shields. He's good with whips, but I chose not to focus on knives because I have Eric, who's also proficient in knives. And I don't use Eric with swords and shields. So Sylvando's going to get the swords and shields, and then Eric gets the knives. It's also because items are very expensive in the game. Items are always high priced, especially new combat items when you get to a new town. So if you don't have a lot of gold on you, it's always efficient to kind of choose which characters and swap items between them, make them share a sword, and then set up your party differently according to who's sharing what and what items everybody's using, so that nobody's using the same kind of item in your party setup. It's a lot deeper than people I would think maybe give Dragon Quest credit for, because on the surface it seems very easy to get into. Oh yeah, no, it's and this is all shit that you have the option to do. You don't have to set your party up in any particular way to really succeed in the game. If you're high level enough, you could pretty much brute force your way through the game anyway. But deepening the combat system like this helps get long-time players into it. because it changes the experience a little bit. Like, this is a thoroughly different experience for me than playing Dragon Quest VIII, which is, as I've previously spoken about on this podcast, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. I think 11 is gonna eclipse it by the end. It's, I think, the best Dragon Quest game that I've ever played. You know, just up to this point, it's the best one I've played. And I've played a lot of them. I've played 4, I've played 5, which is 5 is a really good classic game. I've played 7, I've played 8, I've played 9. I've not played 10. I've played Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime on the DS, which is a weird spin-off. I played 2 of the Dragon Quest Joker games, they're Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, which are like Pokemon clones almost. There's a lot of Dragon Quest games. I've played my fair share of them. I've played Dragon Quest 3. But I think 11 may end up eclipsing them for me, just in terms of its overall quality. It's really consistent. And it plays so smoothly. The combat flows fast. You can set the combat to ultra fast, and the game is like, oh my god, it's so cathartic how quick battles are over and done with if you're strong enough. It's so nice. And exploring the world, learning the lore of all these different countries, finding all these different secrets. There's always secrets everywhere. And the worlds are richly detailed, so it's fun to explore them. Like all these different cities with different themes, all the different kind of stuff that you can find out just in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. It's so fun. It's such a fun game to play and to explore. It's one of the best JRPGs I have ever played, and it's, I think, the best Dragon Quest game. It's really incredible.
Damn.
And
take that, Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, from one deep RPG to another deep RPG, I've completed my first playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses. So
still a good game.
Yeah, it's really good. I did the Golden Deer route, as I said in the last podcast, and I started out there. I completed that story. From what I understand, Golden Deer route is the longest route of the 4 that you can play in the game. And it seemed pretty long because it went on a while. It took me about 2 weeks to get through that whole campaign with like consistent playtime and, you know, time to grind and stuff in between. It took me about 2 weeks. You know, I think I sunk a good almost 30 hours into it, which is, for one part of a game with multiple playthroughs, it's not bad.
Yeah. Not
fucking bad at all. But yeah, it's still really good. I think Three Houses is the best game in the Dragon Quest, or not the Dragon Quest, Fire Emblem series. Awakening is a really solid...
I feel like a lot of people say that.
Awakening is really solid. It's the game that obviously made now I'm talking about Dragon Quest. It's the game...
Dragon Emblem Fire Quest.
Yeah, whatever. Dragon Emblem Fire Quest 3 Luminaries.
Final Dragon Emblem Quest.
I love Final Dragon Emblem Quest.
Fantasy.
Oh boy.
Tales of Final Dragon Quest Fantasy. Oh, fuck. Sonic. But
yeah, it's of all the Fire Emblem titles that have come out in the West like recently, there have been some like, there's the ones that went under the radar, like Shadows of Valentia, which I think is one of the best games in the series, and has a lot of similarities to Three Houses actually. There are a bunch of other titles that came out, like the Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest, the Fire Emblem, those ones, the Birthright, Conquest. Not as good.
Tokyo Mirage Session.
Yeah, another game that's Dragon Quest, Fire Emblem game, underrated.
Yeah.
Dragon,
but it's coming. People can actually play it now.
I'm gonna buy that shit, and I'm gonna play the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I need a Switch.
I really, 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 really fucking enjoy those damn games. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, Fire Emblem Three Houses, just of the Fire Emblem games that I've played and loved, I've owned every Fire Emblem game to come out in the West since Awakening, except for Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but I soon will. I've enjoyed pretty much all of them, with the exception of Birthright and Conquest. I think Awakening is a high benchmark for the series because of just the ubiquity of its story and how many people played and loved it. And the characters are great, but the character stuff is so much deeper in Three Houses. There's so many of them. almost every character has support conversations with everybody else, and everybody's got fleshed out relationships with one another and fleshed out personalities. So the final tally for my playthrough was I had
100.
Well, no, I had my character, my Byleth character, marry Dorothea, who is one of the few characters that's the same gender romance option. So Dorothea, she's the opera singer from the Adrestian Empire. So she's a Black Eagle house member that I recruited over to my side. You had to like boost your charm stat really, really high before she'd even talk to you. But she's kind of got like a flirty personality. She's very friendly, but she's also flirty and kind of like she's interested in politics, even though she's like a singer. So she's like an intelligent artist. And she's cute and flirty. So I like her, and she's a big titty anime waifu as well. So she was my first marriage character, and I really liked the ending with her is cute. The way that they write out kind of your little epilogue at the end of the game, and all the different characters' epilogues, it was like, and they said that Byleth and Dorothea were deeply, deeply in love, and later on, some of their love poetry to one another was published, and it was considered by many to be some of the most romantic and endearing poetry of all time. And I'm like, these lesbians loved each other, and cue me crying.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Yeah, they were cousins. They were best friends. They were gal pals.
Yeah, they were super. Man,
it was.
If only friendship could.
It was really, really cute, I had to say. So I enjoyed the shit out of that playthrough, and the next playthrough I think I'm going to do the Blue Lion House, just because I want to leave Black Eagles to last, just because from what I understand it's one of the most it's the most ups and downs, lots of turmoil, lots of shit goes on stories in the game.
Yeah,
but it's also the quickest playthrough. So I'm going to do Blue Lions next. That'll be coming up soon. I have 2 other games I want to talk about that I played, although I will say quickly that I did buy Astral Chain. I've not played it yet, but it is sitting there waiting for me to play once I finish Dragon Quest. And
still in the plastic wrap?
No, I took it out of the plastic wrap. I popped it in. I popped it in for a little bit just to kind of fool around. I like how it plays, so I'm going to go back to it later. But it's a very deep game that takes a long time to get into, from what I understand. So I'm gonna give it the time it deserves. It's like a Bayo game. The Bayo games, it takes a while to get used to them. So
you gotta knock that rust off.
Exactly. So I'm gonna wait a little bit until I get to there. But the next thing I want to talk about is the Link's Awakening remake on Switch.
Oh yeah, did you play that?
I got it. I've played it. I've not beaten it yet. I'm about 4 or 5 dungeons in, so I'm about at the halfway point, or just a little bit past.
That's what I forgot to mention. I'm playing the original on the Nintendo 3DS.
They are between the 2 of them. The same game. They're the same game.
Yeah, it's the same game. It's nuts. I was watching
playing through it. It's like muscle memory for me. I am reminded of when the first time I played the game. I want to say that 2 or 3 years ago.
It's nuts how like 1 for 1 it is.
Yeah, it's really direct.
Yeah, I was watching a stream of it, and I was like, wow, this is just a walkthrough.
Oh yeah,
this is like.
Oh yeah, it's a walkthrough with pretty graphics. It's a very pretty game. It looks great on my TV. Like
I know.
It's so beautiful.
I mean, even when it was first announced, I was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Fuck that backlash.
The lighting is fucking nuts. It's so so pretty. The music is really, really cute. It does retain some of my because it's a direct remake. Almost like gameplay minute per minute is a remake to that level.
Yeah.
It retains some of my problems with Link's Awakening, which, full disclosure, is like one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. Probably after Wind Waker and Link to the Past, my favorite game in the series. And Breath of the Wild, which, I mean, that's a class in its own. That's like a different thing. It's almost not even fair to compare them.
Yeah.
But I think, between like those games, it's one of my favorites. In the realm of 2D Zeldas, it's nearly unparalleled in terms of the kind of storytelling that it engages in. Just because it's really interesting it's one of those games, like I said, like the Dragon Quest, that forces the player to learn the geography of the island, to learn their space, and to learn how to do shit to go backtracking, because it's a small game. It's not big.
Yeah.
Koholint is not a big world, but there's a lot to explore. There's a lot to find and a lot of secrets to discover. So it feels a lot deeper than it really is. And it's, what can I say except it's Link's Awakening, but with like a beautiful, shiny, fresh coat of paint.
It's really just a reskin with some added things sprinkled through.
Yeah, the music is really, really good. It's all kind of played on what I would only call like chamber orchestra, little tiny instruments. Like everything sounds kind of small and cute and suits kind of the aesthetic of the game. Very toy-ish, like a toy kind of soundtrack, almost toy instruments. And
which suits the look perfectly. Like
my one complaint is, it's something that I said about the original Link's Awakening, and it's like a sensory thing for me mainly. But when you get a seed or a piece of power, and that little jingle like plays,
yeah, I hate it.
It actually drives me fucking nuts, and they kind of kept it in, and it's still just as annoying. And I
feel like it gives you like almost anxiety spikes.
Yeah, no,
like
it does. It does.
The Sonic drowning music.
Yes,
kind
exactly.
of, right? And you're like, why is it? I get why it's menacing, but it should sound happy.
It should sound happy. It's like you've gotten like a powerful item that like enhances your gameplay experience for the next like minute and a half. Could I not hear this song while that happens? Could you just like maybe add 2 or 3 instruments to the already playing soundtrack? Could you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway,
make it more dynamic.
Yeah, that's something that actually really bugs me. It's something that bugged me about the original game. But otherwise, I mean, hey, if you haven't played Link's Awakening, this is your chance to do it. It's a really, really, really solid Zelda title. It's got a lot of strange oddities to it because the game was like heavily influenced in its development cycle by Twin Peaks. So there's a lot of strange non sequitur stuff. It's got a strange esoteric story for a Zelda game. There's no Zelda in it. There's no Hyrule. Shit is just kind of brought up and dropped. Lots of weird kind of side adventures, weird cameos from Mario and other Nintendo characters.
Yeah, but it also makes sense because Mario 2 is also very strange.
It is, yeah, and both spoilers for a game that's, you know,
big spoilers,
really fucking old, mind you. They're both games set within a dream, so fever dreams. Yeah, so
one would assume
there's a dream-like, like the whole island that you're on in Link's Awakening is the manifestation of a dream by a creature called the Windfish, which is sleeping on top of a giant egg on the mountain. And the premise of the game is you have to wake the egg up so that the Windfish can come back.
And the only reason the nightmares are being assholes is because you're there to fucking ruin their shit.
Exactly. The reason
that I don't want to die.
The reason that the island is reacting to your presence is because it knows that you're there to basically destroy it. So it's a really weird existential. It's not like the game doesn't really delve too heavily, at least within like the text of it, into like the weird conflict of morals that could like arise in a situation in which you're being asked to like destroy an entire population of people, seemingly just because the game demands you do it. Like this isn't fucking Spec Ops or anything like that, where you're being forced to confront like the corpses of the children that you slaughtered. But at the same time, it's for a game that came out on the fucking Game Boy.
Yeah.
It's really ambitious. Yeah, it's heavy and it's ambitious for the time. And for a Zelda title especially, it's dark. It's very dark. It's Majora's Mask level of dark, quite honestly, without the aesthetic of it being like Majora's Mask, which is also aesthetically dark. But Link's Awakening, great game. If you haven't played it, you have no excuse. If you have a Switch, go pick it up. It's a great Zelda game. Like you'll have a really fun time.
Well, I mean, the only valid excuse is that like it's a little pricey for what it
is. It is a little pricey. I'll admit.
It's like full price, and you're like, "Ooh, okay, all right, Nintendo. All right, I'll get it when it goes on sale in 20 years."
The last game that I've played, that I've been playing a lot, and that I've been honestly just loving the hell out of, a game that I used to shit talk so hard, Final Fantasy VIII. The remastered version of Final Fantasy VIII that they've released onto like I think every platform is one of the best ports of a classic Final Fantasy title I've ever played. It's from the ground up graphically overhauled. So there's a big difference in how it looks now versus how it looked when it came out. The gameplay speed has been adjusted so that you can speed the game up if you want. Mm-hmm. The battle system remains the same, but learning how to use it and using it comes a lot easier because of the speed of the game changing. So the big thing that differentiates Final Fantasy VIII's battle system from some of the previous titles in the series is the junction system, which is essentially customizing the character's moveset so that they can like focus their attacks in one particular like stat or otherwise and boost other stats by attaching them to they call them guardian forces in this, but like summons essentially. So every character kins with like a summon, and you can take stats from that summon and boost different other stats and customize your move list. So like you can change like whether you want the character to use magic, and magic is approached totally differently too through the junction system. Magic is basically stockpiled like an item. So every spell is an individual one-use item. And you stockpile magic by essentially drawing it from enemies using an ability called Draw, which you can remove and put back into your move list for grinding. But essentially, yeah, there's this whole thing where you have to use the Draw command on an enemy, pick a spell that they are associated with, and then draw that spell and take it into you, and maybe you'll draw like 11 fires from somebody. But part of the big reason that the game in its initial form put me off is because drawing magic is fucking obnoxious. It's really fucking obnoxious. And in the original game, because the speed of the game is so slow, it's a very late era, PS1 game with like really, really high quality, like it, just the graphics on the thing alone probably made that fucking game chug like nobody's business. It made the whole process arduous and long. Now that you can speed the gameplay up, drawing magic is easy, so grinding takes 2 seconds. And once you draw all your magic, you're good for like the next, big chunk of the game until you gotta sit back, grind, and do it all over again, right? So in the interim, I've allowed myself to actually enjoy the gameplay experience and the narrative, which I think, in terms of Final Fantasy games, is a narrative that gets a lot of backlash. I think because Squall is perceived as being kind of an uninteresting protagonist. But also...
a bit shallow, if you will.
But also, I don't agree. He's, in fact, one of the least shallow Final Fantasy protagonists. I'd say he's up there with Cloud in terms of how interesting a character he is. Because, like Cloud... I mean, let's put a lot of Final Fantasy characters' backstories are defined by trauma. Very few of them are defined by realistic trauma and realistic coping mechanisms to that trauma. So Squall is a person who kind of comes off as one of two minds. He's got a running internal monologue that follows him throughout the game and sees him make commentary internally on a lot of characters and story moments. Mm-hmm. And his outward personality, by contrast, is not as... he's not sarcastic. He's kind of mean and deadpan. He's not sarcastic and playful and kind of funny in the way that he is in his internal monologue, which is obviously the more true to him personality. But he's just like a complete fucking dick to everybody and is always pushing people away. And the game gets into that. They get into why he does that to other people. Why he's so concerned with pushing people away and how it affects his relationship to the other characters in the party. This is one of the first Final Fantasy parties where everybody kind of really doesn't, I guess, like, feel like they belong together. Mm-hmm. There really are ragtag in a way that some of the other groups aren't. Like, even in a way that, like, the Avalanche guys aren't. In Final Fantasy VII, everybody kind of feels by the end like they were meant to be together. This is a game where the phrase meant to be together actually has a whole lot more meaning based on how the narrative progresses. But these characters are really they're not the sort of people that would be friends with one another in any other context. they're not people who, by the end of the game, fully gel in the way that some of the other parties do, but I think that that's intentional. I think that 8 is a really underrated game in the series. It's got a really interesting world. It's got one of the most based fucking soundtracks in the whole series, by far. One of my favorite. It has two of my favorite battle themes in the whole series. The boss battle theme, Force Your Way, which is insane and so fucking good. And the regular theme, which is... the theme for Laguna, I should say, which is Man with the Machine Gun. So there's two separate storylines in the game. One of them you follow Cloud, or not Cloud, Squall, sorry. Same. Mm-hmm. They have Sky names. They have Sky names. Squall and Cloud. So one of them you follow Squall as the main character, and it's set in like the present of the game. And there's another campaign, like a secondary storyline, like a B plot, set in the past, where you play as a Galbadian soldier named Laguna. Galbadia is like the antagonistic force in the series. They're a totalitarian dictatorship that's like slowly absorbing every nation on the planet. You play as a Galbadian soldier.
That's topical.
Yeah. You play a Galbadian soldier named Laguna who has some connection to the party that you find out later on, but it is clear that his narrative is set in the past and yours is set in the present. And Laguna's is it's like you have two entirely different party members. You play an entirely different game, essentially, with a different narrative and different goals, and the battle music changes, the characters' weapons and the way that they interact with the battle system changes. The only thing that doesn't change over between the two is the Guardian forces and who is junctioned to what, which I like. Kind of keeps it streamlined a little bit. But it's a really, really, really underrated title, and now that it's remastered, this is, without a doubt in my mind, the definitive way to play the game. Because, like I said, previous versions of the game chug like fucking nobody's business. They're slow as hell, and the battle system being as it is makes playing those versions of the games detrimental to like the fun factor. This game, though, this version of the game allows you to bypass all of the bullshit and just enjoy the narrative.
Get straight to the triple triad.
Exactly, and I haven't even dipped my toe into triple triad yet, but I'm getting there. I need to build up a deck first.
Yeah, of course.
But there is a card playing mini game in this called Triple Triad, and it is like,
it's really good.
I want to say, previously, before this remake came out, is like the one thing many people remember from the game because it's really good. Yeah. It's like a really deep card game and really fun to play.
People want it to come back as bad as people want the Chow Garden.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, like people in terms of like fondly remembered secondary like mini games and collectible things in like early 2000s games, Triple Triad's there.
This Onion fucking article killed me.
What is it?
Sorry, I just read it. In a major blow to Sony's upcoming PlayStation 5, Microsoft announces PlayStation 6.
Oh my god.
Fucking... I love the Onion. Could you imagine Microsoft just like, no, we're making the PlayStation 6 though? Like,
yeah, sorry. This whole the Scorpio thing? No, it's
you snooze.
No,
you lose.
It's PlayStation 6. You're all wrong.
We're Sony now.
So
because we bought Sony.
Oh. They need to do it. Do it, you cowards. Microsoft, you cowards, do it.
Do it,
you fucking cowards. I'm honestly concerned that at some point Sony and Microsoft are probably going to merge. And that's going to be bad for the tech industry.
That'll be weird.
Yeah, that's going to be really bad for the tech industry.
One step closer to the like three companies that rule the world: Disney, Microsoft,
Sony,
and Toshiba.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think we have to skip news. I gotta.
You gotta get.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a good long episode where we talk about a lot of stuff. The politics things I wanted to talk about quickly. Just look, we'll drop them in here. One of them is related to Dragon Quest. So, for those who are interested in buying Dragon Quest XI, I just want you to understand: you take responsibility for your purchase. This is something that I wasn't really aware of until like maybe about 2 weeks ago. But Koichi Sugiyama, the composer for Dragon Quest, is like the Japanese equivalent of a white nationalist. Like he's an ultra ethno-nationalist who is like very ultra conservative, super, and makes a lot of money off of the Dragon Quest games because he's the composer. And his music is like the least political form of music you could really consume, because it's soundtrack music to a JRPG that has completely completely separate politically from his ideology, to the extent where like he's very homophobic, and there is a gay character in the game who is the main character, and his name is Sylvando, and I love him. He's my husband, but like, because he's a gay clown, and I like him. But
gay clown.
At the same time, yeah, Sugiyama is an ultranationalist. I was
unaware of this.
Yeah, and he was recently on like this conservative, like Japanese kind of like propaganda show, where he just like fucking went on like a tirade. So know that if you buy Dragon Quest S, some of the money that you pay for the game may end up going to Sugiyama. So if you can buy the game used at any point, I recommend doing that, or buy it off of somebody, as opposed to purchasing it directly from the store like I did and giving your money to a company that will give some of your money to a psychopath who hates you. That's really, like I said, the gaming world and the political world often intersect, and this is one of the ways in which they do, and this is one of the things that I wanted us to be able to talk about on GamePunx, because so many other fucking people are afraid to talk about politics in gaming. The second political thing is a thing that just happened this week. So this is new news, not old news like Sugiya.
Yeah, fuck Blizzard.
Yeah, fuck Blizzard. They're a bunch of bootlicking fucking cowards. So I just need to get the name of this player.
Yeah, the gist of it is a streamer was streaming Overwatch?
I believe it was Overwatch.
Something, a Blizzard game.
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of like supporting
Hong Kong.
The Hong Kong protesters.
Yeah. Oh no, it was Hearthstone. Okay, so
it was Hearthstone. Okay, yeah, that would.
Let's I got a Verge article here. Let's give that a read. So over the weekend, Blizzard Entertainment banned a Hearthstone player from participating in tournaments after he voiced support for the Hong Kong protesters. Now, a lot of United States senators are actually getting in on this. So this is really the gaming world and the political world intersecting in more ways than just the global politics, but even in American politics specifically. But yeah, Blizzard shows itself that it's willing to please the fucking Chinese Communist Party. They call themselves communists. What they are is a fucking failed communist state that has evolved into an oligarchy.
A fascist.
Yeah, a fascist oligarchy. No. They've decided to fucking just kind of, kowtow to the Chinese government, who are on their way to controlling and influencing a lot of American-made media and North American media, and just kind of ban this player for expressing an opinion that goes against their interests. A Hearthstone player was banned for saying that he supported the Hong Kong protests. Blizzard banned a fucking player from participating in tournaments because he expressed support for the Hong Kong protesters.
Which is nuts.
Where the fuck are the
Blizzard?
free speech warriors now?
Yeah.
Where the fuck are the free speech warriors coming out of the fucking woodwork to cry out that free speech is being violated?
No, but not like that.
This is a genuine violation of freedom of speech. To quote Ron Wyden, no American company should censor calls for freedom to make a quick buck. Blizzard has shown that it is willing to humiliate itself to please the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. Marco Rubio, who's even a Republican, said shit about this too. So this isn't even something that fucking
it's not only the
left. This is not the left complaining about this. Even Republicans are complaining about this for far more racist reasons, mind you. But even they, being as politically and kind of inept as they fucking are, recognize that this is a fucking problem. Nobody should be fucking curtailing and bending over backwards to please the Chinese Communist Party.
Every time something like this happens, I always imagine working for that company and being like, oh no,
this is fucking embarrassing. Now the number one trending tag on Twitter today, as of today, the 9th of October, is hashtag boycott Blizzard. And honestly, yes,
which I was already doing.
Yeah, so. I mean, I was pretty much at that point anyway. But yeah, fuck Blizzard.
I'm gonna double not buy your products now.
Yeah, I'm pissed off too because those 2 new Overwatch Lego sets came out. I really want them. Hopefully, I don't know how much Blizzard gets out of that IP deal, but I'm probably not going to buy. Probably not going to buy them now, which pisses me off because I really wanted to. They look really fun and great. And once again, Blizzard is willing to compromise its brand and its integrity for just fucking bullshit to impress a tyrannical regime. So yeah, fuck Blizzard. Boycott Blizzard. They're a bunch of fucking bootlicking cowards. I guess with that having been said, ending on such a pleasant note.
You're chopping up now.
Sorry about that. Well, thankfully it won't sound choppy on the record.
On the recording.
Yeah. Have yourselves a nice listen. Thank you for listening to GamePunx. Happy October. The spook season.
Happy Spooktober.
Spook season has arrived.
I'm gonna be screaming. I'm gonna be screaming
and streaming.
Some spooky games probably tonight, because it's been a minute, and I'm not sure what. Maybe I'll go back in on Observer since that was a cyberpunk horror game, and I like those 2 works of fiction.
Ooh.
And that's by Bloober Team, who made like Layers of Fear and that Blair Witch game.
Ooh.
So, it's good. They do good. They do good.
They do shit.
As good as those games can be. I like the Outlast genre is so weird to me because they start off as horror games, but they end up being like maze puzzle games.
Yeah. More
than anything. Like you get scared once, and then you're like, okay, gonna have to loop this a couple of times to figure out where I have to go now. But yeah. I might do that, or I don't know. I'll figure something out. Alan Wake could be cool.
Alan Wake would be a fun one to play.
Yeah.
And what about Dino Crisis?
And
I haven't played the Goose game yet, but I will play that at some point. I know that it is fun. I know it has goose.
I know it is good. Yeah.
If you like geese, it's fun. It's a good Goose game. Anyway, I think Ben just cut out on my end. I can't really hear Ben. Which is never a good sign, but I think that's a better time than any time to end this podcast. So thank you very much for listening to GamePunx. I've been Ryan. Ben is on the other end. And I hope we have a pleasant October. We'll see you back real soon.